Hello everybody and welcome to the next episode of my Skyrim 100% completion run. We are playing the Anniversary Edition and so far we have achieved close to 21.5% of our overall progression. On the top left hand side corner you can see the single objectives which we count into the total progression count. And yeah, as always, I do not have a specific plan of what we will do in this episode, but probably first of all we will complete the Grey Cowl of Nocturnal. Thanks for joining and have fun! Ouch. Oh, hello. A death priest. Let's try sneaking. Well, that was easy. Those shouts. Since when do those shouts kick me away? Hey mate, what's up? Good evening. You're still awake? Run is pretty fun. I just started this episode. We're just continuing from where we have left last time. We're currently doing this one, the Great Cowl of Nocturnal. How was your day, mate? Did you come back from school fine, or did anything happen? Hope you had a great day, mate. Oh, you never completed Skyrim? Wow. So probably this is something you need to do next. Not sure what kind of games you play. As you're visiting school, I believe you play some competitive games. So basically what you could do is, of course, just check the main quest storyline, like a list with all the quests, just to complete. But to be honest, the game does not live from the main quest storyline, but instead from all the stuff you can explore, collect and do all the side quests, the exploration. This is what keeps the game alive. Oh, you're playing it right now. Cool. So, which build are you playing? Also Stealth Archer, or did you go for the melee build? Stealth, yeah, best build. So, not sure if it helps you, but I could like show you a way to power level your character. I believe like for a normal run you really do not need it, but in case you do something like I do, it's of course quite beneficial to know a way how to power level your character. Okay, this is quite fast. This is quite fast. Even I do not have sneak on level 100. But I know how to level destruction from 1 to 100 in 1 or 2 minutes. But to be honest, you need some preparation for this one. Not some preparation, it's not like you need to collect a lot of stuff. Not preparation like this. Well, and this took only 5 minutes. I could imagine it takes like 20 minutes, but I never tested it out, to be honest. So what I can do is a trick like this. Our destruction skill at is 85. Do like this, and then we just go here. And as you can see, destruction should be now at 100. Yep. It's the Unbound Storm spell from the Anniversary Edition. It's this one. And you can collect it right here. Hobbs Fall Cave. There is a secret chest. Not the secret chest, it's just a chest. But it's special chest because it contains ton of items. And ton of spell tomes. And one of those is for the Unbound Storm.
You've done well. Till next time, you've done well. Of course, I trust we'll never need to speak of this again to anyone. I trust we'll never need to speak of this again.
Oh, this one turns guard hostile. Okay. Well, this is probably for outside.
To anyone.
What's also cool is this one.
Need something?
Hey there.
Need something? Got something to say?
Got lots of jobs available. Erica assures me that Captain Wolf will spend pretty much the rest of... Best of all, he's also pledged to open doors for us in Solitude and to get things rolling. The guild's at full strength, and we have you to thank for it. We've had our... I'm gonna tell you something you'll never hear. When you walk through the guild, don't be ashamed to hold your head high. Torsten was gratified at this very moment. Burning that banner was a nice touch too. The guild's at full strength. I'm gonna tell you something you'll never hear me say again. When you walk through the guild, Alfred said it. More important, the guild's... I'm gonna tell you. When you walk through the guild, Don't be ashamed to hold your head high.
Level 21.
You're the
Sweet,
best
sweet,
damn
sweet.
thief
If
in
you're
the
looking,
place.
I give special rates to members of the Thieves Guild. Show me what you've got.
Good question. So, you mean like quest lines which are more exciting, or do you talk about like quest lines which give you more power? Getting more power is exciting, so of course with the bow you could also go for the Thieves Guild's quest line. There you will get the Nightingale armor and like the Thieves Guild armor. Besides that, you could of course go for the Dark Brotherhood quest line. This is where your sneaking skill will be rewarded a lot. And besides that, of course, you can just go farm the Dragon Shouts, which will turn you also powerful. But this is not really a quest line. Elsewise, what's also recommendable for more power in general is like
Until next time.
skilling your smithing skill and enchanting skill, and then just like upgrade your items. This is how all the pros do. Yeah, the bow I have is also pretty good. It's the Bow of Shadows. It's quite strong, and it also makes me instantly invisible.
Don't you have better things to do than disturb me? Don't you have better things to do than disturb me?
There is also a Daedric quest you could do. Maroon's Razor is also something I could recommend. It maybe we'll just acquire it in this episode. We still have around 30 minutes left for this episode to end, and this is something we could totally do. But before we do it, I would like to to display my helmet. Let's go for this one. You're making your own remaster, yeah. It's quite amazing of what I can see on YouTube with respect to paid mods. You can like deploy thousands of mods, but to be honest, I refrain from doing it in this run because I would like to complete the game like with the sort of vanilla experience. It's not vanilla, it's Anniversary Edition, but like with the experience you can get if you buy the game at Steam. You could also toy around with texture mods, which give the game an overall improved visual, overall improved visuals. This is also what I really like. What are also great mods in my opinion are the ones which make the game harder. And by harder I mean like really harder. Not just a bit harder, but really, really harder. No, there are like mods which overall increase, I believe, the combat artificial intelligence of mobs. They changed the way like potions work. For example, you cannot, just as I do right now, mid-fight press tab, press items, and then just pick 2 potions and you're fully healed again. Stuff like this, like mods which make, for example, potions last, or the effect become heal you over time, and also which like highly reduce the damage you do. Stuff like this, where you need like to use your IQ for the combat mechanics with respect to like the numbers. Like just imagine playing legendary difficulty, but not that only like the damage markers are like changed. This is what I personally do not like, but instead like overall your game feeling changes because you need to pay attention of a lot of stuff. Exactly, stuff like this. I just have a YouTube video in mind, um, which I do not recall now from by the name, but there it looked like it's really, really hard. You also have like a counter of 100, I guess. Like you can only last 100 days, so there is like a time limit for your playthrough with respect to in-game time, so you cannot just wait 24 hours for specific stuff to wait. And also with each death you have the day counter is reduced by 10, I believe, so you need to complete the game within 100 days. Otherwise Alduin the World Eater will destroy Skyrim. And I will now destroy the lockpicking. In-game days. If you search in YouTube like Skyrim challenge or Skyrim epic challenge, something like this, probably you will find one of the games. Well, let me really, on a quick note, check. Maybe I will find it for you. Something like this. This is something I also found really interesting to watch, but I'm not too much into Skyrim that I can like play stuff like this. It would be probably for me personally too hard. Yeah, try it out. Basically, like from my perspective, it's quite the same. So it's only like all red colored themes, and maybe you have like smaller deviation, but yeah, I would not say that it's like completely different if you join the rebellions or the other ones.
Wouldn't want this, Silas. I beg you, don't go into Silas's. Silas comes from one of the oldest families in Dawnstar. They have a complicated history. Several of his ancestors belonged to the Mythic Dawn. His family's involvement was only found out well after the crisis had died down, but it still ruined their reputation. They were outcasts. And now Silas is back, and this museum to the Mythic Dawn is his way of trying to rebuild his family. Not a student of history, I see. It's for the best. The only thing you need to know is that they almost destroyed the world, and they were stopped a long time ago.
And here comes my first visitor. The Museum of the Mythic Dawn is open, friend. Never mind that. Medina is a good woman, but I have my own reasons for opening this museum, and I'm not changing my mind. I have a collection of artifacts from the group that toppled an empire. They're important. Why don't you come in? You can browse the display. Let's talk inside. Feel free to look around. Come talk to me when you're ready to discuss. The tapestries hung here and outside were found in hideout. Where members of the Mythic Dawn would meet and plot. The cult's greatest accomplishment was the assassination of the Septim Dynasty, and the opening. That burned paper is all that... Mysterium Xerxes, the blasphemies, the dawn. On the Mysterium Xerxes were written by the Mythic Dawn cult leader. Ankar Ram.
Yeah, I also like them somehow more than the Stormcloak rebellions, because somehow it looks like very one-dimensional. The ideals of the Stormcloak rebellions. Nice, those books are also 4 books which I did not have collected so far.
Followers when they died, that they would be reborn by Mehrunes Dagon's side.
This is something I cannot open. Quest locked.
Yes, that scabbard. Notice the insignia? An Oblivion Gate. A key symbol of Mehrunes Dagon, the patron Daedra of the Mythic Dawn. Did you have any questions about the museum? Or would you... A little history first. After the Oblivion Crisis, a number of groups cropped up dedicated to wiping out the remnants of the Mythic Dawn. One of these groups found Mehrunes' Razor, the artifact of Dagon. They split it into 3 fragments and pledged to keep them apart forever. That was almost 150 years ago, and the pieces are still being kept by the descendants of that group. And they're right here. At least 2 of the owners, Gunzel and Draskua, are dangerous marauders. And the 3rd owner, Jorgen, I only know he... Here are my notes about them. I'll gladly pay you for getting the pieces any way you can. No questions asked.
Okay, let's do it. We have already retrieved the shards. Not sure where, but somewhere. Yeah, let's just simply collect everything and then bring back everything. Yeah, it belongs to the Nords, but like the background story, it's like this. There was like a great war in all of Tamriel and also the Nords. If I'm not mistaken, they lost also the war, and they all agreed to be like led by the Imperials. So it's quite hard to lose a war and afterwards start a rebellion after your people have like admit and said yes to the peace treaty. And also this is like a civil war. It's also not like they are like under tyranny.
We're not soldiers anymore.
So basically, I understand their motives, but as I said, it's like very one-dimensional. And also, from what you can learn in the Skyrim story through some of the quests, is that the Thalmor are also like tending the flames with respect to the civil war. So they somehow support this conflict because they profit from it. Like Imperial against Stormcloaks. I believe the right words for it are divide and conquer. So as long as Skyrim is divided, it cannot be too strong. I'm pretty sure you know what I mean. And also the means are the only thing I believe is debatable is the fact that Ulfric Stormcloak like challenged the Jarl of Solitude, and afterwards they fought and Ulfric killed him. So this is maybe the only stuff which is debatable, because from a Skyrim perspective, like from a Nord perspective, this was all legal because it was like the way it was back then. And yeah, because they're elf, exactly. And not only because they're elves, but also because they are intriguing elves. For example, the Nords also hate like dark elves, but the Thalmor are also like evil. I believe in the main quest storyline you will notice it, because there will be some quests which indicate their evilness.
How are we supposed to feel safe in our own homes?
Please, enough already. I have told... Rid of your concerns. She'll look after you all. Please, go about your business.
Unless it's about the mill. I don't have time to talk. The world's going... She hides inside with her visions. We need a leader, not some mystic. Trust you saw the house that burned down. And that's on top of noises from the marsh in the night. Tales of monsters. What's a man to do if he can't look to his Jarl for help? Don't know what you're talking about, stranger. I've heard of him. My father had suspicions about his connection. I don't need this. My family wasted 8 generations keeping that razor safe from a dead cult. As far as I care, it can stay locked in my house. Be easy. Here. These are the keys. We've no need for wizards in our midst.
There's enough problems.
Ulfric has like, there's like a dialogue option in which he says something like either Nords fight for us or they are not true Nords, and I do not know. This is too barbaric for me. I always think that you cannot force people to your own beliefs and opinions and so on and so forth. It's a bit political, but sometimes you should guide people. But I like the really blunt and straightforward definition of freedom of speech. Like, the world is a market of opinions, and if all people run to a specific market stand, then you should just make sure that your opinion is also more attractive to the people. Of course, I know it's not like universally applicable what I've just said, so there can be scenarios in which you can discuss whether freedom of speech should be limited, especially like in Germany, Switzerland, Austria. We have like a different opinion on freedom of speech than, for example, in the USA. But it gets really complicated if you get like to the baseline of it, because some opinions are easier to sell to the public, and they are also more appealable to most of people, but it's just because people only see like the surface of it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, so we understand each other. Like the Western Europe society has a kind of different understanding of freedom of speech than, like, for example, the USA. And also, if you go more to the east, like the APEC region, it's even different. For example, I'm not talking about the Arabic countries, but also the countries like North Korea, China, Indonesia is also a good example. Yeah, you had an incident. Wasn't it like Charlie Hebdo? No, this was France. Let's check the layer. Ah, here, Gerd Wilder. I do not recall exactly, so what the Gerd Wilder, isn't it the guy which is like the right-wing party and currently was like elected? Or am I missing things up? Mixing things up. No, okay, then I know. It's the one with blonde hair and like a really noisy guy. Yeah, Cat Wilders is your Ulfric. Whoops, we need to do this one differently. Yeah, I'm not too much into Dutch politics. So, but yeah, it's quite complicated topic, to be honest, because first of all, if you talk about stuff like this, you need like to set a framework of mutual beliefs, mutual ideas. So where are like the borders of being right and where are the borders of being left, which are like the maximum principles, stuff like this, before you can, like, not you, especially you, but in general, if you're having a discussion like this, because if you do not pay attention to those things, such discussions often become like really emotional and not too fact-based, and going from there, it's like really hard to have like a decent conversation. But to connect to your point, so you're educating yourself to be a mechanic. How is it? Are you like into techniques or mechanics, or why and how did you choose to become a mechanic?
Hello? Who's there?
But do electric vehicles not also need like mechanics? Or do you agree with people who say like electric cars do not need any kind of service or maintenance? Oh, because of the high voltage, right? So I mean like dangerous in terms of dangerous to normal people, not especially dangerous to your working conditions. Three times as dangerous as normal cars. And where did you get this number from? Did you like read some kind of paper, or is this something they taught you in school?
Someone there?
So you mean like getting hit by a lightning of a normal car is not as dangerous as like doing something with a electric car, right? But do you have the impression that people are ready to switch from normal vehicles to electric cars? I believe this will take ages, if not decades. So what my idea is that the people say, at least in GSA region, that like you need to sacrifice some of your Commonwealth in order to save the environment. But this is also like a really, really tough topic. From my personal perspective, environmental protection is something we need to achieve as a unity, and it cannot be that, for example, some people sacrifice type of their commonwealth, while other people around the globe like still drive their big SUVs and do not pay attention at all. It's something you need like to agree and execute as a unity across the states, not just like pick 5 states which kind of sacrifice themselves, while the rest 300 states keep going as if nothing ever happened or nothing endangers our environment.
Why, sure is that?
Yeah, you're right. At some point we will, of course, we'll have to like find new sources of power, because with or without cars, like we cannot rely on oil too much. Like fossil sources.
What happened to you, Pop? The Forsworn have taken Kolskager mine. We're the only ones left.
I need to ask you to stop. That shouting is making people know. Good. Glad we straightened that out.
Yeah, the windmills, no, never seen it, but I've seen like wind parks, and yeah, for some people they look kind of scary. But I never did see any calculations with respect to how much, hello there, how much like CO2 you save and on cost of how much energy you create. So probably you're also, isn't it what the Netherlands like decided to like empower again the nuclear plants? This drag wrecked my way. Yeah, this is also my impression that like I heard that like the Dutch decided to yeah, turn on again the nuclear plants or power plants. I once watched like an interview of a politician, and she said like there is a way to know if a person is for power plants or is against power plants, and it's like by checking if they call them nuclear plants or power plants. So a person who is for, like pro power plants, is always saying power plant and never is saying nuclear plant. Okay, mechas. Yeah, it's quite interesting. And this is something I'm not too aware of the specific details, but I also sometimes feel like power plants could be a solution to not be dependent from like Russia and other countries, and also a way like to secure energy costs being on a level which is affordable. And yeah, so I totally believe. I'm not sure how impactful the whole stuff is with respect to the waste power plants create, but I personally could imagine that there can be found a way within the next decades how you can somehow recycle the waste. But again, I'm not a physician, not a chemist, so maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But from what I am noticing, energy is becoming more expensive and more expensive, and less people are able to afford it without losing some kind of their wealth standard. But yeah, maybe we should continue this discussion in the next stream, because I just checked the time, and I'm also a bit tired, to be honest, because I'm still a bit sick. And therefore I would just conclude and end this episode. There is a lot of locations we can discover in the next episode, and also complete this Mirun's Razor quest. So yeah, anyways, let me just thank you for joining. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I think it's Gamen de Makkers. Gamen de Makkers. Not sure what it means, but thank you very much for accompanying me here and having such insightful discussions. I learned pretty much right now about like the stuff Dutch people are dealing with, and it's quite interesting, to be honest. But yeah, as I just said, let's continue it on a different day when I'm also a bit more refreshed in my mind and my head. I'm kind of tired right now and cannot like gaming friends. Yeah, gamen de makkers. Makkers is a good word for friends. Cool. So, as I just said, thank you very much for joining, mate, and hope you join next time and we can continue our discussion. Or you can tell me what you have done in Skyrim, also a topic to talk about. What we will do in the next episode, probably we will, yeah, just explore the locations here and also retrieve the last parts of the dagger. So, yeah, nothing left to say. At the beginning of the next episode, we will recap on our progress, see what we have achieved this episode. And yeah, anyways, thank you very much for joining and have a nice evening. Bye bye.